Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are undertaking I think, a really ambitious analysis. We're blending the microscopic practical advice for a single day, November 16th, 2025, with this sweeping mythic narrative on destiny.
Right, and our source material is just fascinating. It's a combination of daily astrological work and this incredible allegory called Astrologie Aetheryon.
So our mission really is to see how those two things connect. How does this micro-level energy things like patience and simple routines speak to that massive macro question, are our fates fixed?
Or are they determined by our internal truth? The sources really suggest that the two are in constant conversation, and that the universe often gives us these quiet, profound answers precisely when we stop chasing them so hard.
I love the way the daily instruction phrases it. It says, quiet answers arrive when we slow our pace, allowing space to integrate recent misalignments through patience and simple routines. It sets a very deliberate tone.
It's so intentional. And it tells us to trust our instincts, but, and this is the critical part, not to rush interactions.
Which totally reframes what luck is. I mean, the definition they give is luck is often just another word for being open to connection when connection appears.
Exactly. It immediately shifts the focus away from some random external event and puts it squarely on our own internal availability.
Okay, so let's dig into the specifics, the celestial mechanics that create this atmosphere of, what do they call it? Quiet purity.
Right. So the moon is in Libra all day long, and the source notes, it has this unusual purity of energy.
And that's because it's not forming any major aspects. But for listeners who might not track this every day, what does that actually mean? Why does no major aspects equal purity?
That's the vital question. In astrology, you have these major aspects, things like squares, oppositions, and they're basically friction points. They create tension, challenges, dynamic events.
So they force you to act.
They force a reaction, yes. So when the moon, which, governs our emotional landscape, our daily routines, when it's in a sign like Libra that naturally seeks balance.
And then there's no interference.
Exactly. It's moving without that external static. The usual noise, the pressures to fight or react, they're just absent.
Okay, so if the celestial environment is quiet and balanced, why do the sources say we might still hit some friction in the morning? It mentions pride and vulnerability causing issues.
Well, the environment allows for smoothness. It doesn't force it. That morning friction is probably residual stuff. It's that recent misalignment the source talks about. It's internal cleanup.
So because the outside world is quiet, we're finally forced to notice the noise inside our own heads.
Precisely. And the relief comes in the afternoon, after we've made, quote, some small adjustments. It points to an internal calibration, not some big external battle.
That makes perfect sense. It's like you don't realize how dusty a room is until the sunlight hits it just right. But the source also describes this feeling as suspended animation. Doesn't that imply, I don't know, stasis? How do we find optimism in a moment that feels paused?
The pause is the whole point. It's a moment of cosmic anticipation. The universe isn't paused in stagnation. It's pausing before a massive expansion. This quiet purity is the runway.
The runway to what?
To the sun moving into an overnight trine with Jupiter. This happens Sunday into Monday. This whole day, this quietness is preparing us for that.
Okay, let's define that transit because it sounds really significant. What is a trine, and why is a Sun-Jupiter trine such a big deal?
A trine is one of the most harmonious geometric relationships in the sky. It signifies easy flow, opportunity, grace. So when the sun, our core identity connects harmoniously with Jupiter.
The great benefic, the planet of expansion.
The planet of expansion, of luck, of optimism, to just those the doors wide open, we feel compassion, open-heartedness. It's this profound knowing of truth that can literally transmute fear into possibility.
So the quiet patience of Sunday is what creates the vessel needed to receive the expansive optimism of Monday.
You've got it. The growth described here isn't about brute force. It's about embracing transformation rather than resisting it. And this leads to maybe my favorite line from the source material.
Which one?
Sometimes grace waits until we stop trying so hard to earn it. Jupiter is that unearned grace. And this quiet Sunday is teaching us how to just be available for it instead of grasping.
If grace is unearned, how do we make space for it? This feels like the perfect bridge to the mythic allegory.
It is. Let's talk about the kingdom of Aetheryon. It's a place described as being suspended between light and shadow, with ancient power just humming in the mountains.
But despite all that power under their feet, they lived in constant fear.
Total fear. Because their entire belief system was dominated by one thing, the Obsidian Star. A terrible omen of doom that was just fixed in their sky. It defined everything. their caution, their fatalism.
And the elders reinforced this, right? The doctrine was, so long as it shines, our destiny is fixed. The belief itself became the prison.
And if you believe your destiny is a fixed disaster, what do? You retreat. You build walls. You become suspicious. You stop risking hope. It's such a powerful metaphor for how we can trap ourselves.
And into this fearful, locked-down environment walks the catalyst, the wandering monk, Ashen Solari.
I love this detail. He carries no weapon, just a single lantern with a flame that would not die. He's the embodiment of that persistent, unearned light we were just talking about.
He meets with Queen Serial, who is burdened, paralyzed by this prophecy. She basically believes hope is dangerous because it just makes the inevitable fall hurt more.
And Ashen's revelation, illuminated by his lantern, just cuts right through all of that. He tells her that the highest truth isn't carved in stone or stars. It has to be forged within the heart. And he defines that truth as compassion.
When she challenges him, though, about the star itself, I mean, it's right there in the sky. His response just shifts the entire paradigm.
It's breathtaking. He just says, it is nothing but a mirror. It reflects what you believe, not what must be. The source of the doom isn't the star. It's the kingdom's belief in its own fixed doom. The external symbol is just reflecting their internal fear. And that is the ultimate link to the Sun-Jupiter trine. You have to release the mirror of fear to allow for expansion.
That message must have been like a lightning bolt. A few people heard it and realized their protective walls were actually prisons. This is where the quest group forms.
Yes, the three companions. And they each carry a hidden burden that, perfectly mirrors the kind of internal friction we all try to work through.
Let's break them down. First, there's Kale, the soldier, outwardly the bravest man in the kingdom.
A legend on the battlefield. But it was all a mask, a compensation for this paralyzing, hidden terror he lived with, using external action to hide internal vulnerability.
Then we have Lyria, the healer. She can mend any wound in the kingdom, but she can't heal herself.
Right. She's crippled by her own grief over a past failure, outwardly so functional, but inwardly just broken.
And finally, Talon, the scholar. His endless quest for knowledge should make him feel secure, but it's done the opposite.
It's left him hollow, sleepless. He's constantly chasing external answers, hoping they'll finally make him feel worthy. It's so relatable.
So they set out for Mount Vyros, where truth is said to be born. And what's so crucial here, linking back to that daily instruction for patience and small adjustments, is that their transformation isn't some heroic fight.
No, not at all. It was entirely about stopping resistance. This is the quiet moon in Libra energy and practice. Kale, the soldier, he stops fighting the visions of his past mistakes.
And Ashen's instruction to him is just fundamental. Courage is not in the strike of the sword, it is in the opening of the heart.
And the moment he stops resisting the pain, the shadows just dissolve, like mist in the sun. It's beautiful.
For Lyria, the healer, she has to face this intense guilt she carries about failing her brother.
She's expecting judgment, condemnation. But instead, the mountain winds carry his voice, and it's full of love. He tells her, your tenderness is your strength, not your sorrow. She had to stop resisting her own vulnerability.
And Talon's trial? His is maybe the most modern. He faces a mirror showing his deepest fear, that he's unworthy.
And the mirror whispers the antidote to his constant striving. You are enough without the answers. He had to stop resisting his own inherent value. That was it. The transformation was just making those small, internal adjustments.
So they finally reach the summit with these transformed hearts, and the Obsidian Star is right there, burning overhead, still looking like a threat.
This is the moment of truth. Ashen raises his simple lantern, and that gentle, unearned flame, it touches the base of the mighty star. The star shudders.
And Ashen whispers something.
Yes, he says, truth, when finally seen, makes no war. It only reveals.
And the star cracks. But instead of the darkness and doom they expected for centuries, it's an explosion of pure golden radiance.
The omen of doom transforms into a luminous sunstone, a beacon of awakening.
And the impact is immediate, right? People in the kingdom physically felt burdens loosen.
Yes. Kale's courage was now rooted in tenderness. Lyria's grief lifted, letting her remember her brother with warmth, not blame. Talon's frantic search for knowledge just softened into a peaceful curiosity. They didn't erase their past. They transformed their relationship to it.
This just synthesizes the entire deep dive so perfectly. It connects right back to that Sun-Jupiter trine. The kingdom flourished not because a prophecy was broken,
Because their fear was released. They started living under the light of possibility because, as the Source says, it always had been. The grace of Jupiter was always there. They just needed to clear out the internal fear that the Obsidian Star was reflecting.
So Queen Serial asks Ashen the final question. How do we keep this blessing? How do we hold on to this grace?
And the final lesson is so simple, and yet so incredibly difficult for most of us to practice.
His answer is nothing.
Nothing. He explains, grace is not earned. It arrives when hearts finally make space for it. The moment you try to lock it down, to work hard to keep it, you're right back in that same fear-based mentality.
So let's bring it all home. What does this mean for us? Our sources are suggesting that whether we look at the quiet moon in Libra or the myth on Mount Veros, the key to releasing a sense of fixed fate is to slow down. It's to seek connection and to create that internal space by just stopping the resistance.
The universe is waiting. It wants to give us those quiet answers, that unearned grace. Which leads us to our final thought, a question really for you to consider. If the things we fear most, failure, unworthiness, doom, or truly just mirrors reflecting what we believe, what single, deeply held, limiting belief might you stop resisting today to allow for grace and that golden transformation to unfold?